nation.
Things haven't been good for the dollar lately, though. We've now seen the greenback fall to a 2 year low, and this ahead of data that our survey here at Bloomberg suggests is going to show sliding consumer confidence in the U.S. What's it going to take to get the dollar back up again?
Well, I think the dollar's been hit by a number of negative factors. As we mentioned, the delay in tapering expectations, the political friction and impasse that took place regarding the debt ceiling and the budget, and of course the shaving of growth estimates because of that, has all really undermined sentiment for the U.S. dollar. And of course, the other factor to look at is U.S. Treasury bond yields. The 10-year Treasury yield now dropping to just around its 2.5% level. What I think will be needed for a stronger U.S. dollar is, one, I think we're going to need to see a continuance of the pretty good data that we've seen in past months in the U.S., and also higher yields. And we think that will be the case. Maybe the dollar will remain under pressure in the near term, but further out we do look for recovery.
Okay, welcome in from Sunnyvale, California. I'm Mark Vieira, and I'm going to go through some of my charts for my weekly log, some of the higher points. And yeah, just really quick, a good for you YouTube viewers here, a channel you might want to check out here, Hot Stock Market. Some good videos coming out, well crafted by Gil Oren, and latest intrigue would be this hedge fund manager that is bearish, and he's calling for a crash, and he's quoted as saying expect it sooner rather than later. So yeah, it's good videos to check out. I think expect it when you least expect it. But let's get right into the charts now. Starting with a monthly, I've got a trend line here, and I want to remark on, everyone's got a bias, whether they think they do or not. You should recognize your bias. I happen to be bullish on the market. So I want to draw my trend lines that go against my bias. So I want to draw a conservative trend line, and you'll notice that I'm going all the way up here to the highest point, and I see we have a monthly candle that is poking its head up out of resistance. Okay, that's the monthly. Same sort of thing. Let's go over here to some weekly trend lines, and again, I'm drawing it as far up on the highs, catching as many of these to complete the trend. And we've got a breakout of resistance on the weekly chart. Okay. Now looking at some patterns. Let's see here. I've got some targets. We've met targets on these patterns, and now let's look at some measured moves and a flag. And on the daily, what you have with a measured move is you have initial leg, corrective phase, and then now this line would represent the equidistant target. I have several multipliers where I'm getting conservative and aggressive targets. And I'm also noting that you have a smaller measured move. You have a leg, corrective phase, and then a move upward within the other larger measured move leg. That's kind of interesting. And let's see, we mentioned the flag. Okay, so we have just from this low here we have a flagpole, and then we take that distance and we add it to the bottom, and that would give us this target. So within the next few weeks, I think, I don't know, this week, next week, I think, let's look at my pattern worksheet. And these flags are all over the place. The more touches, the stronger the pattern is going to be. But even with, you have just a move up, and these flags are sort of a consolidation period. And then you have another, almost an equidistant leg upward. Here we had a bear flag, broke down, went more than equidistant. Here we have a bull pennant, move upward, consolidation, and the final leg up. And again, now we have, this is a weaker two-touch. On an hourly, you'll see a lot more touches. So that's kind of what gives it a little more credibility to me. This is the patterns I'm looking at here right now. So where do I go from here? Usually we'll touch upon moving averages, but there's nothing to see. You've got near term, long term, all the moving averages are rising. Of course, you're gonna find that now. Like I was expecting last week, we were going to see some consolidation. Doesn't look like much, but that's a little bit of a rest period. I liken it to a football game where you can't always do the long yardage pass plays. You got to mix it up and throw some run plays in there. That's the same thing, I think, with consolidation. So getting into volume. Okay, this is one of the #1 things I look at to judge market psychology. And here I need to shrink. And slowing momentum is found in the lowering of the average volume. We see the volume is declining. But more importantly than that, it's like the Goldilocks. You don't want the porridge too hot. You don't want it too cold. So if I see a spike in volume, I might take that as a huge spike in volume. Has to be significant. I've got these lines drawn to prior areas of climax volume to give me a benchmark where if I see a spike, I'm going to look at that as huge activity from institutions that would be selling into that strength. Okay? So I'm not seeing any of that. I see a decline in volume. Momentum is slowing. Of course, you're going to see that with consolidation. I don't know this week. Next week, I think the market is going to continue its bullishness. Let's see. On the hourly volume, kind of an ascending triangle going on here. We're pinching up into this vertex of a triangle somewhat on the hourly. Or like I was expecting last week, the point of control has been moving up with price. That's to be expected. Point of control, it would be your largest volume node here. And our playground did expand as expected. That's 70% of the trading volume here in the Thinkorswim Monkey bars, which is a market profile. And again, we're looking at the lower volume as some consolidation and a slowing of momentum. So let's wrap this video up. Again, here's a good YouTube channel you want to check out. And you know where to find me, hotstockmarket.com. This is where I'm hanging out. Got links to my weekly poll in here. Vote S&P 500 up, flat, or down. I'd like to see you participate in that. And now YouTube users, I've got links to all of this stuff, including the YouTube channel, Hot Stock Market. You're going to find all those links in there, and that's it for now. And I'll see you on the boards.